drives you? This video almost feels like a confession. It's a wonderful feeling and relief to be able to express beliefs about yourself that you still cannot shift or even face sometimes. This video is not for you if you can't handle someone sharing their truth. Sadly, many people can't handle it when people are being real. Maybe that's why people are afraid to speak their truth. I've spent years working on myself, and these beliefs continue to become clearer. The thing is, they drive me so powerfully from the subconscious, and at times now I sense them in action. It's like they won't go away and leave me in peace. In this video, I share what I sense is happening, because sharing often leads to release and more understanding. What I mean is freedom to go another level, because there's always another level. What drives you? If you think about it now, what is it? Maybe this video will help you also get clearer. If you don't know what drives you, maybe it will help you see what does. Driving is an interesting word, because driving is two-way. Driving may cause you to speak up. Fantastic. Currently, it seems a lot of people are being driven to hide, going backwards, not speaking up, and that can be very dangerous. It's important to let it out. Speak up or sharing your story. It's a release. It's one step into more freedom. Everybody should get this moment, because it initiates a magnificent journey. Let me share my story as I know it so far. Many years ago, I did a values inventory. The results were good, but there were some holes. It didn't seem a problem at the time, and I didn't see a connection to any of my beliefs. I've completed tests on a regular basis since, and they've always improved except the same areas. Recently, I took another test, and there they are again. This time, I went through everything with a fine-tooth comb, over and over and over again. I began to see how they connected with my thoughts and actions. I suddenly saw things in a clearer light. The two issues which showed up with my values were, first, self-esteem, the feeling of self-worth. The fear is I'm not enough. Clever at hiding it, aren't I? Second is a basic need, survival, satisfying physical and survival needs. The fear, I don't have enough. Imagine having those as your core drivers. It's like having an ocean liner as an anchor for your life. And I mustn't forget, it was necessary for all those years ago. Every time I want to break out, they step in regular as clockwork and tie me down, sort of making my behavior predictable. I don't like that. Worse, I didn't realize this was happening because it's all subconscious. I started looking at how they were driving me, and one day I got this aha. Now you see, a lot of me is a perfectionist, and I've always wondered why. Then I connected that with the two beliefs, and it all started to make sense. Not cured yet, but made sense. The messages I received as a child was, I am not good enough, continuously, day in and day out, boarding school or home, always the same. The harder I tried, the more I was told the same. Nothing was ever good enough, and I'm still in that mode. My brother was always trying to kill me or put me down, riding roughshod over me all the time. I realize now I still felt I needed to protect myself at a subconscious level still exists with me now. I am living with nothing I ever do is good enough. And it wasn't safe to let people into my world. How am I supposed to live with that? Get close to me and I'll push you away. I've had many successes, achievements, and acknowledgements. I'm beginning to see how I go numb when they occur. No wonder people react funny, as I'm obviously incapable of really letting go. Instead, I always hold myself in check. I remember once performing in front of more than 600 people, and I got a great ovation. Amazing. Yes, a really good ovation. 30 minutes later, I ran away from the show celebrations because I couldn't handle it. I just had to be on my own. I know that despite all of this, I still strive to be the best I can be. I learned this also has an impact on my energy emission. People may not understand this, so let me give my explanation. Imagine going into a room. How do people react? Believe it or not, your energy has a lot to say. If I was Bill Clinton, for example, every woman would look towards me. I'm not, however. I suspect my energy has a very different impact. In fact, I know it has. Okay, so now I understand a lot more, but that doesn't suddenly change anything. I continue my journey of exploring life and learning about myself. None of the past is an excuse for how I am now. Today is what counts, and understanding the past enables me to create the now and the future. The past must be let go because it's long gone, of no value to anybody. Where does that leave me? What has come out of my journey so far? What have I learned? What are the benefits of having those beliefs? Because there must be some. Oh yes, there's always value to be gained from whatever happened to me. None of my experiences are 100% negative because at a minimum, I can say, I learned never to do that again. Learning something doesn't work is a learning in itself. Let me list some of the benefits that I've gained from those beliefs and my experiences. I can usually see ways of improving anything. Whatever it is, what system or whatever, I can usually see room for improvement. I learned communication is a useful defense and I'm very good at it. Give me a piece of writing and I'll spot what sticks out in seconds. Let me look at a video and I'll also see what doesn't work or looks out of place. Remember, this ability came from my need to survive. I'm now going to share some of my observations. This is what I see or hear immediately when people speak, and it never stops. I keep saying to myself, why do I see these things? How do I stop it? It's such a pain in the neck. I don't want to see it. This is changed now to how do I use it to support people? Now that's better. I've been doing that for years, but never really connected to it in the same way before. Please remember, these are observations and not judgments. Get clear on that. If you have no discernment, then I suggest you switch off here. These observations are intentionally phrased because I don't want to offend anybody. This can never be guaranteed though. I know the people I mentioned can handle it. However, hearing my observations, you never know, they may cause some changes for the better. Who knows? Donald Trump is a great, clear communicator at times. People forget he's a businessman. He's never been a politician. Now, most of you know politicians. Politicians have rarely been known to answer truthfully. So what's new? Clearly, Donald has a huge ego issue, but then who doesn't? Donald also carries his feelings on his arm for everybody to see. And it's not surprising because he's taken a battering from people who don't like him, and yet he's not running away. Can you always say the same about yourself? Could you handle that sort of pressure? I wonder. Mark Bonus, he's clearly doing a grand job. I watch his videos and see something's missing. Something is definitely missing. The voice is being projected forcibly, and I find it difficult to listen. My mind says he's trying so hard. Successful, yes, he tells us, but that forced style can lead to an early grave. Well, funnily enough, I just found a more recent video, and wow, this one was a big difference. And then at the end, the old Mark stepped back in. There must be this value that tells him this is necessary to get his message across. I don't understand why, because he doesn't need it, and he'll still get his message across. All it needs is a little fine-tuning, bringing the voice from down here, not from here. I have so many people who have to speak from here, but it's bringing the voice from down here. I watch Jake Valentine, and I know what he's going to say every time he starts a video, and it's always the same style. No reason to be suspicious, but part of me is very cautious, and I'm not sure why. I can see he's on a journey, and everything is very clearly calculated. He puts a lot of effort into what he does, so it deserves rewards. No problem there. I still know everything is calculated. If you are that type of person, then Jake would be a great person to learn from. You learn from people who are doing what you want to do. Remember, my observations, not judgments. I'm saying what I hear and see. Just my opinion. Jake shared something personal with me once, which I respect. I know he's somebody who doesn't appear to run away even if it gets tough. I like that. That's a bit of metal there. I like Henry Johnson too, and his current journey fascinates me. Everybody has to find where they fit in, and it's clear Henry's doing this. He's found his current niche. My observation says it's shifting bit by bit. I don't know why. Henry is a man of several characteristics: playful, serious, adamant, and the actor. I often wonder which is the real Henry. I see a lot of Henry on numerous posts, and we've spoken a few times, and so I'll not go into too much detail. I sense he's pushing the boat out as hard as possible in every direction. Maybe it's time for him to get on the boat. Suddenly, Henry comes out with another interpretation for something. At times it feels like his desire is to rewrite the English language. I don't understand why. There's plenty of words you can use to get your message across. It's so clear that Henry is looking for something, and that is as far as I go with what I see in him and I'm willing to say. I hope he finds what he's looking for, really do. He deserves it. Now some general comments. The thing is, are any of these you? If yes, what are you doing about it? These things apply to so many people. It's important to learn not to be afraid of hearing how others see you, because it's only one opinion. In the end, you always have choice, but not if you are unwilling to listen in the first place. Some of these things are clear to be seen, whether you realize it or not. You are an attention seeker. You're looking for answers outside of yourself. Your message is lost because of your communication. You have a bad habit which shows on your Facebook Lives. Keep repeating the same story over and over and over and over and over again. You have visible anger. You put yourself down so often. People just do that automatically. You don't take responsibility. You are stuck, still shaming and blaming. You're not telling the truth. You lie. Your message isn't clear. Much of this can be sorted quite quickly, but only if you are willing to speak up. Today, it's so important that we help each other to find what we want in life. Most of our answers are in how people see us. That's enough. For me today, I see lots more minute little discrepancies, and I hate it at times. The thing is, we can all help each other by sharing what we see and know at the same time, realizing it's only one opinion. We can help each other by listening, because the person telling you is usually trying to help you in the only way they know. There you have it. I hope anybody who watched this can appreciate these are only observations. I can see them because my upbringing gave me these tools that protect me. When my little boy feels some beliefs are no longer valid, he'll jump out of play, no problem at all. It's a bit of an irony, isn't it? Beliefs are there for a purpose, and at the same time, they can cause us mayhem. Finally, I hope nobody is offended by me sharing my observations. I've spent my life living with I'm not good enough. I was always seeing ways to make things better or improve. What I don't need is another self-help book. Living and failing is more fun. And the books that I have read, they help me learn this. One day, I'll feel comfortable to let people into my world and maybe even stay for a change. Perhaps this could be a beginning. One day, I will be good enough.